Oh ho ho! Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Novice Lumberjack, where I'm about to do a bad thing. I'm about ready to spill some secrets on this here chainsaw. I went through my messages to the gentleman that sold me this chainsaw, and he made it very clear that I could say whatever I wanted to about the chainsaw. Just don't say anything or do show close-ups. Ooh. I gotta find it. Found it. I should have done the nut pinch. Ooh. But anyways, he just didn't want me to show pictures of the race chain that he made. So I won't show the inside of the cylinder, at least not yet, because I don't want to break it all the way down, for one. But, you know, some things might need to stay kind of secretive. But what I will do is get the numbers on this, and my hunch is it's going to blow some people's brains off their shoulders. Because you hear all kinds of stuff out there. So many people speak in absolutes whenever it comes to how you should port a chainsaw. Well, what I have learned is there are no absolutes. So quit talking in absolutes. These things, you can take away here and you're okay as long as you add here. Boy, that's tight. Tight as a Dick's hat band. That thing ain't coming off. My grandpa used to say that. Oh. Well. There we go. So anyways, if you look back on my channel through my different videos, what you can see one video, I think, of this thing actually running. First thing I can describe to you right out the gate is the exhaust outlet. It does not have a big exhaust outlet. That right there is all you got. That's probably, it's a rectangle. And it's probably equivalent to a 3/4 inch pipe, you know. But holy jeez, that exhaust is really opened up. It looks like a whale shark's mouth. Nope. But yeah, so many people talk about, like, well, for instance, the exhaust roof is a common thing that people like to point out whenever they're talking about torque. And they say things like, well, if you go high on the exhaust roof, you increase RPMs, but you lose your torque. It'll bog down in the wood. Well, what I know from experience is this thing has torque for days. And I bet you it has a really high exhaust roof. Really, really, really high exhaust roof. The other thing that people are going to say is that you can't have torque without high compression. Well, another thing that I can tell you from experience is that while this has torque for days, it has very low compression. So, what is even going on here? So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get a compression reading. I got a new compression tester and the hose is way too long. Don't worry, I'm on top of I think I'm going to figure out a different system for this. But for now, this is what I got. So all we're going to do, this is a Snap-on tester. I feel so high class. Snap-on, man, they just make good shit. They really do. All right. Now that it's on there, I'm going to make sure the piston doesn't hit the top here. So I'll roll through it slowly. There we go. I didn't know how far that was going to stick into the cylinder. But here we are. We're going to do a compression test. If you do the compression test with the throttle locked, it just means you have to pull it less, because you got to be able to suck air into the intake in order for it to start building compression. So here we go. All right, that's as high as it's going. And where are we? You read that? Looks like 165 pounds of compression. So, while that is definitely good compression, it's good compression, a 365 special from the factory is probably going to have about 165 pounds of compression. So, in the world of high-performance chainsaws, we are already seeing that this race saw is completely, oh, I'm winded from that. I'm so out of shape. Probably what it is, I need to stop smoking so much. But what you see in the world of high-performance chainsaws is typically people want to be up around 185 or 200 pounds of compression before they consider it a hot build. And these are, you know, your users, your actual, it's not a race saw, it's an actual user that you would take out and you would use it as your felling saw or firewood saw or anything like that. If you're building a nice hot ported general purpose chainsaw, you want it to be up around 185 pounds of compression or higher. So right there, we just blew it out of the water. The idea that you cannot make torque without high compression, because we see that this is quite a low compression saw in the grand scheme of things. All right. Now I'm going to see if I can look through the throat of this carburetor. Yes, I can. I can look through the throat of this carburetor and without problem see the bottom of the intake port. What else can I tell you? How many rings does this piston have? It is a single ring piston. Ha ha ha! I love this stuff. All right. So, what is the other thing that I can tell you right there? I can tell you that this does not have any boost ports whatsoever. It just has the factory quad port setup. Looks like it hasn't been adjusted very much at all. We blowing your minds yet? You know, most of the time people think that you have to have boost ports all over the place. All over the place, you know. And now I'm pretty new to this game and I will have no problem bowing down to someone who's better than me. I have no need whatsoever to try and act like I know more than other people do. But a lot of people truly act like they have more knowledge than they do. And like I said, they talk in absolutes. You have to do this, you have to do that. It's all ebb and flow, man. This is a two-stroke. You can't force it. You've got to coax it into making power. So let's see how this person did it. Shall we? We're almost there. We've got to have a way to turn the crankshaft over. So I got to get this this recoil starter out of the way. Come on. Somebody believed in putting it together tight, I tell you that. Now, the reason why we can talk about this without any worry about offending the builder of this, all right, this saw was originally built, well, I'm not even going to say it, but it was originally built by some dude, right? And then it switched hands several times. And who knows what was done to it since the original dude built it. I don't know what was done to it. But I do know for a fact that the person who I purchased this off of, he told me that he done work to it as well. So regardless of the original formula that the original builder of this saw took, that's off the table because the person I bought it from went back inside and did his own stuff. And he told me he has no issue doing whatever I want with this saw and sharing it with you guys. So on the flywheel side, you can clearly see that the flywheel has been cut. It's just knocked the fins down some in order to decrease your rotational mass. All right, let's go ahead and get everything set up. There we go. I rotate it to what I think is going to be top dead center. Yep, probably right there. Come on. There we go. We lock it down, turn it on, get it in a stable position right here. I take my zip tie and I feed it all the way in and I rotate it backwards. Oh, well, I guess it's not all the way in, is it? There we go. I'm sitting on the zip tie. I zero out my gauge here. Rotate it all the way back through and I see 156.7. What is half of 156.7? 75 would give me 150. 3 on top of that, 78. Let's go 78.3. So I turn it back to 78.3. Right there, bam. zero it out because that is our top dead center. So the first thing to look at here is going to be the intake opening. There we go. Intake is opening at, it's going to blow your mind, 81.6. 81.6 is the intake opening, which gives us 163.2 intake duration. Nothing wild. Nothing wild there. That is pretty damn normal. All right. I have built, at this point, I think about 4 372s, and all of them had about 84 on the intake duration. So I'm building firewood saws with more intake duration than this thing has. Let's check out the exhaust. I'm going to call it right there. My guess is it's going to be close to 90. Nope. 94.3. So the 0.3 gets thrown out the window. I would say that it's they were aiming for 94 degrees on this. So we've got 81 point something on the intake. All right. 94 on the exhaust. Let's see what the blowdown is with the transfers. I'm going with right there. Whoa! Whoa! 121.8. So that gives you it gives you 28 degrees of blowdown. And I'm looking in there, it's pretty standard stuff. Really it is. Like I said, there's no boost ports. The upper transfers are not heavily directional. None of that jazz. As far as the port job goes on this, I would say that in theory, in ways of thinking with firewood saws, this is a worse port job than what I typically do on the firewood porting saws that I build. But how are they making this power? Because I'm telling you, this 65cc saw is right there, probably very close to in power to my 592. Maybe even more. Maybe. And it just runs on regular gasoline. It does 87 octane. Oh God, we got to get off the high octane thing. High octane does not give you power. High octane allows your engine to run if you've done certain modifications that require high octane.